Good morning. Welcome to this morning's meditation. Let us all bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our kundalini and put on a bandhan. That bhajan that was played was Marathi song 38. Amhi Kundalini. We are the praises of the mother. Now let us sing one mantra to Sri Ganesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. In praise of the three great mothers, I thought I would play another song, and I'll just put that up.
Lakshmi ki jai,
Follow Adi Shakti Shri Mataji.
ki jai, Mahakali ki jai 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 bolo Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ki jai, Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali ki jai bolo Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ki jai, Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali ki jai, Mahalakshmi ki jai, Mahasaraswati ki jai, Mahakali ki jai 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 bolo Adi Shakti Shri Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ki jai, Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali ki jai. माँ भक्ति प्रिया माँ निष्कामा, माँ भक्ति प्रिया माँ निष्कामा, हे निर्गुण माँ निष्पापा माँ, हे निर्गुण माँ निष्पापा माँ, सारा ब्रह्मांड है जिसने रचा निर्मल की जय 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 जय, सारा ब्रह्मांड है जिसने रचा निर्मल की जय, महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली की जय, महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली की जय। माँ निष्कला माँ निर्मदा, माँ निष्कला माँ निर्मदा, श्री माताजी निरंतरा, श्री माताजी निरंतरा, ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव शक्ति माँ निर्मल की जय 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 जय, ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव शक्ति माँ निर्मल की जय। महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली की जय। महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली की जय। महादेवी माँ हे महामना। सुख करता माँ दुख हरता माँ कल्की की जय। जय 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 सुख करता माँ दुख हरता माँ कल्की की जय। महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली की जय। महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली की जय। महामाया माँ जग जननी माँ। महामाया माँ जग जननी माँ। शुभ करनी माँ दुख हरनी माँ। शुभ करनी माँ दुख हरनी माँ। बोलो विश्वधारिणी सहजदायिनी माँ की जय। जय 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 बोलो विश्वधारिणी सहजदायिनी माँ की जय। महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली 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 की जय। महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती।
Now let's put our attention to the Sarastra. I'll say one mantra to Shri Brahmadevi Saraswati. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Brahmadeva Saraswati Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Now we take our attention to the Nabhi Chakra and we say the mantra for Sri Lakshmi Vishnu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Sri Lakshmi Vishnu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, by your grace, please make me satisfied and balanced. Now let's put our attention to the right Nabhi Chakra. And here we'll take one mantra to Sri Raja Lakshmi. Om Tvameva Sakshat Sri Raja Lakshmi Sakshat Sri Adi Shakti Mataji Sri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Now I'll take one mantra to Sri Shesha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Shesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. And take one mantra to Shri Nirmala Chitta. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Nirmala Chitta Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, verily you are the royal dignity in me. Verily you solve my money and family worries and take care of my well-being. Praise be to the Mother. This morning I'm going to put on a talk about the right Nabi, Shri Lakshmi. Shri Lakshmi gives balance. She is the goddess that rules the kings. This is a talk given by Shri Mataji in 1994, and we'll play part of it, about 36 minutes, so I'm not sure how much I'll play of it.
क्षमा कीजिए, देर हो गई। हमारे ग्रैंड डॉटर की तबीयत एकदम आने के वक्त ही खराब हो गई, इसे ठीक करने लगे। पहले अंग्रेजी में फिर हिंदी में हम बात करें। Today we are going to worship Raja Lakshmi, means the goddess which rules the kings. It's a very important thing today to understand that something has basically gone wrong in the working of our political systems and why the people have lost their sense of justice, fair play, and the benevolence of the people. Where have we gone wrong that this is being lost? It's not only in India, it's not only in Japan or in England or any other place where we think there is democracy. first and foremost thing is that all these countries, even those who have got their freedom, started following those countries which were supposed to be mighty and mighty and very powerful, like America, like Russia, like China, England. Without understanding how far they have reached in delivering the goods that they are supposed to do. In any case, in a country like England, you see the monarchy, the way it has been working. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. The way they have acted towards their ministers, like Cromwell. You feel as if some primitive people are trying to manage something. And the king so cruel, queen so cruel, so characterless, so irresponsible. They had no character to be kings and queens. There was no surrendering to the Raja Lakshmi principle of husband. Then, of course, it became independent. And even now I find such stupid things they are doing. Even in France, the president has a keep. They run after money, little money here and there. There are people in every country who are really of very, very low level and who are trying to look after the welfare of them. Also, if you read the history of samurai and all those people in Japan, you are shocked. They thought no end of themselves, they had no connection with the public and the way they behaved. Then you go to the communist countries, also the same sort of thing. There also, those who came in power became really like despotic rulers. Then we have on the other side Mr. Hitler, who came thinking no end of himself. Spain, as you know, was ruined by Franco. One cannot understand how these people, without any character, without any higher qualities than the rest of the people, can look after their well-being. Impossible. I should say in our own country, we had great kings, very great. Because our heritage is great, and we had saints who really ruled, the kings. Like Shivaji had a guru who was a great saint. Everybody. Janaka had a guru. Everybody had a guru. Even Sri Rama had a guru. But they were real gurus. They were the people who really lived a life of saints. They were real saints, inside, outside. And the people also accepted the kings who had spiritual background. Those who respected spiritual background. So the whole trend in this country was very, very different. Till some time, I don't know, when the English came, what happened to them? The majority of the people didn't like the way the English were living, their style, their methods. They didn't appreciate. But these king and queens of different states, they started feeling that they are very sophisticated people and we should have their culture. And so many of these queens, modern ones, who smoke, who drink, tell me that it was taught by their governesses, who came either from Sweden or from England or from Australia. And they picked up these things. Of course, the men also thought that we are very backward. You see, that's the idea they gave them. We are very backward people. You don't know how to smoke, you don't know how to drink, you have no ballroom dancing, this, that. Even our military got corrupted. In the military is all English style things still going on. I don't know when will they stop. They don't know anything about our own country. They'll know about England, and you ask them anything about England, they'll know. The whole education system came through English, but all about England and Western life than about India. Nobody ever cared for Indian things, you see. Even in medicine, same thing happened. Nobody wanted to listen to any Vaidya or anyone. They thought, oh, these are useless, primitive people, backward. So even one country which was really, I should say, had spirituality ruling in the politics also went down. Like this. Before independence in this country, I remember we had to fight the British. And what patriotism people had at that time. I remember once we had gone to see a hockey match. And my father always had a national flag on it. That time it was not national, it was Congress flag in the car. So the soldiers came, they said, take down this flag. So my driver got down. He said, you cut my throat first and then you take down the flag. We all children joined him. And they were shocked. They went back. Such enthusiasm, such patriotism came at that time when we were fighting these people. But they divided us and created a problem for us. And you know, before we could enjoy any fruits of our freedom, we were fighting, we were divided. I don't know whom to blame for that. If we had not accepted this division, there would have been no problem. But they accepted it. Now poor Bangladeshis are so poor. If they were one with India, they would have been much better. And what is Pakistan? It's just an empty place, you know. No industries, nothing. That's why they are all the time talking about Kashmir, Kashmir. They have nothing else. Their own country, people are having fights, this, that. But there's no growth. Now they cut out only this India. Now here, after all this happening, you know, any war, any kind of a crisis like that immediately changes the value system. Not that in the West there were no value systems, there were. But the war completely changed them in the same way in India also. Politicians, those who lost their lives in the fights, or those who stood for something good, were regarded as no ideal. And people took a U-turn, absolutely a U-turn, and they became very self-centered, only worried about their own personal things, their families, or maybe accumulation of money and transferring of money from here to Switzerland. I tell you, I've gone through my life with the people who were fighting for freedom. They could not even think of this. I know my father, I know my mother, I know their friends, I know so many people who were in our family used to come, so many Sikhs and so many other people, Muslims even. They could not think of taking any money. It was really regarded as very low level. For what to take? For what is the need? If you are satisfied in your heart of what you wanted, you got your freedom, now finished. But how these people who were absolutely at the bottom, who did nothing for the country, sacrificed nothing for the country, just came up on top, and all the good people went down. If you read the history of Shivaji or Rana Pratap or any one of them, Shalimahana, anyone, you'll be surprised how they used to worship Shakti. All the Kshatriyas used to worship Shakti. And they would go up to a point and not beyond. Up to the point till the Dharma was there. That history I cannot repeat it to you. But in a subtle way, one feels that this partition suddenly changed the attitude of people. Or I should say those who were very low level, they came up. I remember I was here at that time, partition time. And I was married. And 3 people came to me. I was sitting outside in the garden, knitting something for my child because I was pregnant. So they came and they looked at me and they said, "Can we have one room in your house?" I said, "Why not? I've got it. It's a very big house of my father. I'll give it to you." He said, "We need for 1 or 2 months, we are refugees. It's all right. And it has an outside door, you need not bother us. And there's a also kitchen attached and a bathroom attached. You can do whatever you like. Just I offer." In the evening my brother came, elder brother and my husband, and both of them were friends, and he was just shouting at me. These people were in the other room. "What do you mean by keeping such people? Who are they? What will they do?" And this and that. I said, "What will they do? They may steal something from you. So what is there in this house to steal? They are refugees, look nice people. To me, I have approved them. Because of vibrations, they're all right. No, 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 no. But you throw them away. I said, look at these people. Without even talking to them, knowing them, suddenly you are asking them to get out only because they are refugees. And I did feel that in this country a new wave has started, that a person is not respected if he has no money. He is not trusted if you have no money. Actually, it is the other way round. Those who have money, you better never trust them. Those who don't have money are much more honest people in this country than the people who have money, who are all cheats practically. So, it happened like this, and I said, no, they was going to stay here, to put down my foot. I said, this house my father has given me, and they are going to stay here. Poor things, they stayed for a month in a very, I think, must be very much embarrassed. And while they were there, so many Sikhs, that time it was a big organization, Sikhs and RSS were one, and they came to my house. And this we have heard, there's a Muslim staying with you. There was a Muslim. We are going to kill that Muslim. I said, what makes you think there's a Muslim? We've got reports. I said, wrong, there's no Muslim in the house. I told him a lie. So they said, how are we to believe you? I said, see, I'm wearing a thing. I'm a Hindu lady. How will I keep a Muslim in my house? They're all frightened of them. And there's no one like that. Somehow or other they believe me. I told a complete lie, but they believed. They had brought lots of those swords with blood. But I was not afraid, and I told him in a very determined manner. Anybody else in my place would have said, all right, there is one you can take away. Then these three persons who were there left my house, and one of them is a very famous actress, another one is a very famous poet, and another one is a very, very famous writer. And it so happened that they wanted to make a film about young people, and I was the chairman of that, vice chairman of that. And they wanted to call this actress. I said, don't tell her my name, because I had lost her completely. I just said, let it be, wherever they are, let them be here. There's no, sort of, I never made any inquiries or anything. Don't tell them my name. He said, why? I said, for some reason, you just don't tell her my name. Otherwise she'll be compelled to say yes, which I don't want. So when they went to her and asked her, she said, I must get a sari, I must get a chappal, I must get a purse to match, must get this, all this you have to pay, plus so much money you'll have to pay. They said, ours is charitable. She said, whatever it is. I said, all right, give her whatever she asked for. Then I went for the opening ceremony. And she saw me. And she couldn't control herself, so tears started rolling down. Just came and fell at my feet. She said, how are you here after such a long time? So they said, she's the one who's making this film. What? She's making this film? Why didn't you tell me? My God. My God. She couldn't help it. She was crying. I said, no, it's all right. She said, you take money from me. I'll pay for the whole making of the film. You don't know this lady. You don't know her. What she's done for me, nobody would do. She had done. She said she never told us anything. How are we to know? Such a change that immediately she telephoned to her husband and to this great poet. They all came running and they also. But a small good gesture of administration. That was my house, given to me by my father. That time, of course, my husband and my brother didn't know how to trust people. But I trusted them fully. They were saying they will cut your throat. Why? Why will they cut my throat? For what? All kinds of funny things they were thinking. And the worst thing I felt was they were afraid because they had no money. That is the beginning of the end, I think. In our country, this struggle for money started after that. Without money, people started suffering very much. Poor people don't mind because they are used to it. Whatever money they have, they eat it and sleep off. They were not also very, very poor people as they are today. But they were poor people, no doubt. But what I realized at that moment, that the people who have any position or any power or anything are literally frightened of everybody else. This is the beginning of our downfall. We got frightened. Those who were in charge got frightened that I may lose my seat, or I may lose my money, I may lose my power. That fright kept them absolutely mad. Supposing I am left with no money, so what? What happens? All these thoughts started coming after that partition. I felt is everywhere. While I tell you, in my childhood, my father never used to lock the house. It was a very big house, he never used to lock. And we had a very beautiful gramophone with all that horn sort of a thing. And one day one thief came and stole that. So, next day we discovered, my father said, poor thing, he was fond of music. So he's taken away, doesn't matter, but he didn't take the records. So that now what will he use? He must have records. So my mother started teasing him, all right, you advertise now. The one who has stolen our gramophone should come and take the records. They are available for him. It's so natural, you know. He just felt we have money after all. This fellow doesn't have money. And he has, he wants to listen to music, you see. So my father said, all right. Otherwise he was a criminal lawyer. My father knew law very well. He was not a stupid fool. But he couldn't understand this fellow has only taken gramophone records, gramophone only, without the records. He said he must not have found it, to see it was there kept and all that. My mother said, you better advertise it. He was a politician also in a way. So that time the feeling among the politicians was to how to raise the standard of these people who are not having what we are having. All the people who had money, donated lavishly to so many things. I mean, in my place there was one Ram Bahadur, the Lakshmi Narayan. He donated all his money, everything, to a big university. Most of the things that happened in those days were done by charity people. I mean, they never thought our children should have so much money, crores and crores and crores. They never thought like that. Whatever limited money they had, they wanted to donate and do something good for others. So when the Raja Lakshmi, that is the one responsible for looking after the benevolence of the people, when she acts, people think that they have, not even think, they do it automatically, that they are there for benevolence. They don't have to tell themselves, it's just that they feel that it is their job. This is what they have to do, is to look after the people that are to be brought to better levels of life. This is what they think. They don't think like a party politics, who is coming up, whom to kill, nothing of the kind. Under the influence of the goddess of Lakshmi, which rules the political side, we can say, the kingdoms and all that. First thing is generosity. First thing is generosity. For example, Mahavira was meditating, and while coming out, his cloth, he had one cloth around his body, dhoti, and he had covered himself. And the upper cloth just got caught up in the bushes. So he cut it out and came out with half the cloth. It was in his own palace. So Shri Krishna wanted to take his test. He said, see, I have no clothes, I am just naked. He came before him like a beggar. You have this, why don't you give me this cloth? You can go to your palace and wear your dress. He said, all right. He took it out and gave it to him. And then he got some leaves and all that, covered himself, went to his palace and got it. But now these giants, they make his statue so big, insult him completely by showing all kinds of nonsensical private parts to the details. This is what is where you have no worshipping of the goddess. Goddess is Shri Shobha. She is the one who decorates. She is a mother. She decorates you with ornaments, she decorates you with beautiful clothes. She is your mother. She does it. Like Raja Janaka, he was the king, so he had to wear ornaments, he had to wear beautiful clothes, he had to do everything. And when Nachiketa went to him, he was quite surprised that why my guru has sent him to this king who is wearing all kinds of dresses and this and that. And he also had a big function of dancing and this. He said, he is not a saint. So why my guru touches his feet? He is a king. Of course, Raja Janaka knew what he was thinking about. He said, why have you come here, Nachiketa? He said, I am here to get my self-realization. He said, you can take all my kingdom, but not easy to give you self-realization. He said, all right. Whatever you say, I'll do. So he put a big sword on his head and asked him to sleep. He couldn't sleep at all. Then they were having a bath. He said, come and have a bath in the river. People came and told that there's fire and everybody's running away. And Raja Janaka was in his meditative mood. He was just sitting quietly. Nachiketa got a little upset. Then they said the fire is coming here and all these clothes are going to be burnt. So Nachiketa ran out to save his things. But still he was meditating. Then they came out and Nachiketa found that nothing that was burnt was there. It was just an illusion for people. He was amazed. Then he realized what was wrong with him, that he was doubting the divine power itself. The one who was Janaka, who was a king, was not bothered about his own powers. These are what? Because he is today this, you have to do it. Because I am married, I have to wear a Mangalsutra. So, this is for the parampara, for the tradition style. But inside, he was a saint. Very high high level of saintliness. When this thing happens, that you get some position, any power, even in Sahaja Yoga I was surprised. If somebody becomes leader, I don't know what happens to him. It is a myth. There's nothing like leadership in Sahaja Yoga, nothing like that. It's just a myth. But suddenly people jump up.
On that note, we'll finish up with Sri Lakshmi Vandana by the Nimala Project. Prayer to Sri Lakshmi.
Shri Raja Lakshmi, Shri
Thank you for joining in this morning. Let us all bow down to Shri Mataji, raise our Kundalini and put on a bandhan. Jai Shri Mataji, Jai Raja Lakshmi.